So, a few days ago I got to thinking about movies that are so bad that they're honestly good or sometimes even great. However, my mind wandered to two vastly different places immediately when I had that thought. The first being the Leprechaun movies with Warwick Davis, especially some of the later entries into that franchise. I'm talking to you, Leprechaun Goes to the Hood 1 and 2, and Leprechaun Goes to Space, but don't worry, those will be covered eventually, just not today. Because for today's purposes, I was more intrigued by the second IP that popped into my head. Or should I say the TV channel that popped into my head. Because SYFY channel around the 2010s was absolutely cooking with the nonsensical monster movies. They were dropping them bitches like hotcakes. And that's obviously including, but not limited to, great movies such as Sharktopus, Dino Croc, Ice Spiders, Piranhaconda, and obviously don't forget 2, 3, 5, and 6-headed shark. Not really sure why the 4-headed shark got cut from the lineup, but I guess he had some controversy with the studio. I don't know. But yeah, I remember seeing those movies back in the day and thinking, again, they're so bad that they were honestly just entertaining to me as like a 8 to 12-year-old. But somewhere in the middle of all of those films lies arguably the most iconic yet stupid premise ever to be featured in a feature-length film, and that is Sharknado, the movie where there are sharks dead-ass flying around in a tornado cloud. So today we're going to take a look back at it and see if it still has as many redeemable factors as my 8-year-old self thought it did, or if it's probably belonging in the trash like many adults thought back in 2013. But I'll go ahead and put it out there right now. I remember this movie being very camp, but very fun to watch. Haven't seen it in probably 10 years, so I'm going to just go ahead and watch it and give y'all a little bit of breakdown on it, some reactions, some shit I found funny. Really just wanted to have fun with this one, so yeah, let's take a look back at Sharknado. So obviously I don't want this just to be a plot summary or going through the points of the movie and telling you every little thing that happened. So we're mainly just going to point out a lot of funny things and just inconsistencies and things that make this movie so memorable. So with that being said, let's just get right into it. And you know, obviously you would think it's probably going to take a while for us to actually see the physical Sharknado, right? You see, the captain of the fishing boat finds that absolutely hilarious pacing. This same captain is shown to be a very fearless leader.
We shouldn't be afraid of the sharks. They are the ones that should be afraid of us.
And would never let anybody get harmed. And then we cut to the beach where the weather's seemingly just offshore from the last clip I just showed you. The weather is bright and sunny, but which I guess, but shouldn't there be like some signs of the storm coming? I don't know. At least we know that our main character Finn is super layered from some of the first dialogue he delivers.
Lots of scenery today. I'm gonna focus on the waves.
But hey, don't worry, because we also get George, which is motivated by a whole different thing.
The Civil War?
Hey, I'm not that old. You know, I've still got some moves, you know, babe.
Hey, what did I tell you? You could.
Early on, there's already a hilarious bit of continuity error as we see the sharks rolling into the beach in big numbers, and then you see Finn and this random woman out in the water, and it's just calm, I guess. You know, like the water's just completely calm. Yeah, there's plenty more of those to come. We have very smart characters on the beach that are very good at listening to warnings and not getting themselves killed. Finn is able to ride beside a shark on his surfboard without getting attacked, I guess. The weather, once again, in these scenes is really not that bad, even with the sharks all around, which, again, kind of a continuity error there. But we do some great dialogue out of Nova and George at the bar.
Sure.
Daddy issues. Hey, I'm not judging you, darling. I have daddy issues, too.
The storm is apparently really inappropriate as well.
Storm's coming and it's coming fast.
Coming it surely was, in a sequence I can only imagine was CGI because this shit does not look natural. The shark physics are interesting to say the least, as George disposes of one with a very unconventional weapon. Which, yeah, we gotta love George's stool. We stand George's stool forever and always. This next scene made me laugh a lot just due to the obvious green screen, because you can tell this is a really cheaply made movie in parts, but this scene specifically was just very obviously green screen versus the rest. Finn actually does have a bit of layering to him, which for once I'm not setting up a bit, like he actually does here.
You have an ex-wife and a daughter?
I can drop you at home if you want.
The scene of the area flooding doesn't really make much sense, as it shows varying degrees of flooding that looks to be almost in different places, as it goes all the way from you can walk on the street still to you might want to invest in a boat just to get around. So I don't know what was going on there. We see that the locals are at least taking this event very seriously.
It's just a little water. Typical Californians afraid of the rain.
Yeah.
George's stool is a legendary tool, but this thing must be made out of damn titanium, because he barely nudges it and this happens. And unfortunately, everybody's favorite character, George, shortly after this very heroic scene of saving a dog, seemingly goes out. R.I.P. to George. You will be missed. But in other news, Nova hits a Call of Duty style trick shot, the level of phase apex on a shark that comes out of a manhole cover.
Nice shot.
And then we jump forward a little bit and Nova's basically just Rambo because she busts like 6 shots into the sharks and gets them away from Finn. Once they get into the house. Now, it's important to note, I've skipped a lot of the plot here, but at this point, they've actually wound up at Finn's ex-wife April's house, and she's a character too. I haven't really told you the names of a lot of these people because it's really just irrelevant to the overall plot. Y'all ain't looking for a plot summary here. I'm just running through the goofiness of this shit. It was obviously flooding enough for the water to rise to the point where the sharks invaded the house, but then when they go out to the car, it's shown to be just dry basically out there, like it's barely rained.
Move your ass.
Which makes absolutely no sense because anyway, I don't know why I'd be questioning this shit anymore. We see the cut back to the hill like they're looking off in the distance, and tell me why the house that they were just in just shatters into pieces due to water pressure, but the neighbors seem to just be fine. A scene I found really funny and interesting, Finn's daughter, Claudia, actually has a device from the 80s that picks up analog TV stations, and you watch TV on this little primitive looking device through antenna. The problem being, this movie was released in 2013, meaning that that device she had watching the news, yeah, no, there's no possible way that that could have picked up the channel she was watching. Again, that's not really the most egregious continuity error. I mean, in Sharknado, I feel like the bar's pretty low. And if you think I hate this movie from what I've said so far, I really don't. I still think it's a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, I just had to point that out because they really just couldn't have had her using a smartphone or something. I mean, don't tell me they couldn't do it because the cell towers were down. Because I know we're not going with realism now. And then there's a scene where Finn wants to save like a bus full of kids. And he gets on a bridge and it's somehow just dry up there.
Hey, this is crazy.
Like completely dry. Looks like it hadn't even rained on the bridge that's maybe 50 feet above where it is literally flooding. Russian water looks like a lake below him. What? Like, there's certain parts of this that I was really like, yeah, there's a reason people talk about Sharknado when you're like, so bad it's good. There's probably a reason that it was the one I wanted to cover too. Because I didn't even remember much about it. I just knew it was crazy like this. And it's literally clear skies the whole time Finn is saving these kids. Like the rain just decided to get a timeshare somewhere and piss off for a little bit. The bus driver drops some absolute cold bars right here.
I hate sharks. I'm from Wyoming. You know, I moved out here to be an actor.
They somehow had time to get all of the kids onto the bridge without the rain coming back, which, what? And then a shark all of a sudden turns into prime Jeff Hardy and just hits a crazy jump when Finn is trying to rappel back up onto the bridge when they didn't do it the whole damn time. They were getting all these other people up. Huh. The bus driver drops another heater one-liner, but he also gets cooked, unfortunately.
You okay?
My mom always told me Hollywood would kill me.
Finn tries to explain how the hell a Sharknado is even possible, and I think April's reaction low-key sums it up well.
It's a water spout. Tornado over the ocean. Water gets sucked up into the air and...
What?
This next sequence is great. I don't know how they're going to explain this to their car insurance, but yeah. The tank was apparently flooded in the car, so it just fucking explodes. There's a shop owner they run into that gives us a great theory on how all of this is going down.
Apocalypse my ass. This isn't the end of the world. Gods, they're not angry with us. The aliens aren't coming down. It's the government.
Yeah.
With a big capital G.
I honestly kind of wonder what type of cheese this guy likes for some reason.
Pepper Jack.
And I just need y'all to know at this point they're in like a badass, sweet-ass ride. No other reason, like not setting anything up here, just needed y'all to know that. They get in a random police chase and just find a nitrous button, because of course, bro, of course.
Hey, Baz, is that a nitrous button?
It certainly is, mate.
What do you say we hit that?
Give it a go.
Hold on, folks.
You're about to get an answer to a question that you never knew you needed the answer to.
Why is there a retirement home next to an airport?
Because old people can't hear?
All of these characters see the biggest storm I presume they've ever seen in their life, and they look at it like a bunch of Scooby-Doo characters discovering a new clue. I haven't said his name up to this point, but the Australian guy Baz drops a line that would make Dorothy very proud.
It's time to leave Kansas, mate.
Finn again drops some more lore on how this is all even possible, and I guess it kind of checks out-ish.
From what? They couldn't possibly make it all the way out here.
They can. It's entirely possible. Hurricane could pick up marine life out of the ocean, drop it hundreds of miles away.
I believe Finn is superhuman as well because he somehow manages to hold a metal door against hurricane force winds. When they go back outside, all of the planes in the area they're in are destroyed other than one helicopter, which somehow looks primarily unscathed, like untouched. There's just so many plot holes in this movie, but you gotta love it. Nova couldn't possibly have any more badass shotgun moments. I feel like she's already had her time to shine.
How are we getting in? Guys, stand back. I have a key.
Well, they can't all be badasses because Finn's son Matt, which I haven't said the name of up to this point either because it wasn't important, but he has a just absolute brilliant brainiac idea on how to fight the Sharknado, and I'll let him explain it to you.
Live sharks rain down on people, we're gonna get in that chopper and throw bombs into the tornadoes, blasting those bastards to bits.
And I'm sure everyone agrees on the brilliance and just the articulation, the thought of this plan.
What's wrong?
Your son wants to go into a helicopter and drop a bomb into the tornado.
No, it's too dangerous.
Yeah, safety's the main issue with that plan, for sure. For sure. We find out why Nova hates sharks so much, and Matt's reaction is very appropriate given that he only met her like 10 minutes ago.
They took my grandfather. So I really hate sharks.
Now I really hate sharks too.
While they're loading the helicopter with bombs, which not to mention they only have 3 of later on, but who cares about that? That's something they don't ever even address. But when they are loading the helicopter up with the bombs, they literally point out that the storm's coming.
Dad, the tornado's coming.
Yet the sky looks primarily clear, like all around them, other than where they show the tornado at. If you know anything about storms, that's not typically the way that works. Matt has what seems to be a personality crisis in the helicopter, as in the same scene he goes from looking very distraught to smiling and happy. I guess it's revealed that Nova is blind based off this next clip, because how did you just notice this?
Oh crap. Look at all those sharks.
Finn goes to shoot at the Sharknado with the shotgun and then realizes it's out of ammo, which really makes no sense because there's literally a scene of Nova loading it up with ammo earlier on in the car. And why are you trying to shoot at the Sharknado that's in the sky with a shotgun to begin with? Again, I don't know why I'm questioning these things. I'm losing my mind here, guys. But what do I know? Because bro somehow dead-eye dicks one with a pistol anyway. I mean, what? Is this guy like... Is Finn basically like Arthur Morgan or something? Like he's just got pinpoint accuracy. Damn, bro's got aimbot on the shark. This shit's nah. They drop one little bomb that somehow explodes a whole tornado that probably had hundreds of sharks in it. Fully reasonable there. The next scene I'm going to show you I can only describe as what the fuck pandemonium. One, RIP to Baz, because after that scene, you know, RIP to bro. Australia is not in the building anymore. But we cut to the nursing home and, oh my god, is that George? So even with George being resurrected, we need to know what's for dinner, and I believe fried shark is on the menu tonight. Finn creates a heated pool, the lights that you have just never seen before. So they got 2 tornadoes down with bombs, and somehow the bomb doesn't land right on the third one. Which causes it to not explode that tornado, which, how in the hell does that logic work?
Bomb didn't land right.
Somebody explain that to me down below, please. After this, Nova seemingly meets a very CGI fate. I'm sure the helicopter's gonna be fine though and won't explode like everything else we've seen so far. So after all this hoopla and hoopless, Finn drives his car up to the tornado, hops out of it, and somehow the wind is not blowing him around even though he's right next to the tornado. Huh. And I'm sure there'll be no more explosions either, unless that's somehow how the third tornado stopped. But there's no way that's the direction they would go with this. Oh, all right. Yep. So yep. That's quite literally how they stopped the third tornado, is by the car exploding with all the bombs in it. Which again, I thought the helicopter was loaded up with all them because that's what we were shown earlier. But I don't know why I'm even talking about this right now, because there's an even crazier scene that comes after this where you know what? I'm just going to let it play real quick. Yeah, so Finn literally jumps into a shark with the chainsaw. And you know, you would expect logically like, okay, well, he probably wouldn't even fully fit in there. Like, that probably wouldn't work. He'd probably fell onto his own chainsaw. But yeah, no, what happens is he comes out fully intact. And then he steps out and he pulls out somebody from earlier that there's no way should be alive, but she defies all odds and comes back. That's right, somehow out of all the thousands of sharks that they could have possibly been in, Nova shows up in the same shark that Finn jumps into with the chainsaw. Now, since we're talking about continuity and like logic errors here, I just have to point out a few that I thought of. When he jumps in there with the chainsaw, would it not hit Nova? Because, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a marine biologist or anything, but I don't think your average shark's mouth, or my bad, your average shark's gut can hold 2 human bodies in it while keeping them both fully intact. But yeah, somehow they're just both okay. And also, how did she survive the fall? Because this shark literally, you know, hit off the top rope onto the chainsaw. So how did she avoid getting ripped up, like dying from fall damage, or just the fact that like she would be crushed by Finn alone because there should only be room for like one person in a shark's gut? I don't know. I'm not going to act like it wasn't a badass scene and like literally the most memorable thing from this whole movie. And another thing I'm not going to act like right now is that this movie is fully the most camp in the series, or got the most logic errors, the most plot hole errors, because honestly, if we're looking at the 4 sequels plus, because they're probably going to still make more that came out after this movie's honestly a cult classic for a reason. Like, yeah, it's got its issues, but there's still a lot of enjoyment in it. I purposefully left out a whole lot of the plot and honestly a lot of funny moments in this, simply for the fact that I would really love for you guys to go back and watch this movie. It's free to watch on Amazon Prime, obviously with a subscription. Don't know why I said free, nothing is anymore. But I believe it's also on Tubi, and you can honestly probably find it on YouTube or something. So yeah, I would recommend going back and watching the first Sharknado. I have not rewatched the other ones, so I'm not going to recommend anything else in this series, but I will say one thing I do remember is that they got increasingly crazier and crazier as they went on, and I want to say they even ended up in space in one. If this video for some reason blows up or does good numbers, then yeah, I'll probably cover some more of them because I really enjoyed looking back at this. Hope you guys enjoyed my just a little look back at this. Hope you got some good laughs out of it. You know, channel memberships are down below as well for anybody that really enjoyed the video. But for real though, I appreciate you guys watching here regardless. Make sure to subscribe, drop a like, comment, do all that cool YouTube shit so I can keep going, keep producing more videos. And yeah, with that being said, man, this was Sharknado, a movie that still kind of holds up. You know, like, I'm not going to act like I didn't have fun watching it. Like, the continuity errors and the logic errors, the badly shot scenes, whatever, I think it really just all makes it a better movie. It's one of those you're not really watching for the realism of it, so there you go. What else can you expect out of a movie made by SYFY in 2013? So, yeah, I will talk to you guys very soon. Don't know what's going to come out next, but shit, make sure to come back again for whatever I do and come hang out again soon. I'll see y'all.